Hi everyone, I am really excited today to share this video with you. I have finished my copy of Miniature Secret Garden, so I thought I would, bash my desk, I thought I would do a flip through for you. So I'm going to go through each page and you'll be able to have a look. You may have this book or you may have the large Secret Garden book. Either way, hopefully you will find some inspiration, but I thought it might be useful for those of you who might find the small details a little bit tricky, just to show you how I've tackled them so you can have a go yourself. So let's get going. So first thing, I didn't actually colour this page. These leaves are really teeny and I didn't do the flap because it's quite a strange sort of shiny thing, so I didn't thing paper, so I didn't do it. So I started here. So let's get going from this page. Now I can't remember what pencils I used for every page. I'm not going to be able to tell you that, but what I can say is the Staedtler Ergosoft pencils for me work the best in the book. They go really well with the paper anyway, and you can sharpen them so they fit into all the little spaces. So for me that is what I found the best, but I didn't use them all the way through, so I did try some other types as well. So this is also done in Ergosoft, I can tell. Now throughout this book there are pages that I have done videos for, so you will be able to have a look. I've got a playlist for Miniature Secret Garden, so you can have a look and find all those videos. I'll try and remember to put a link to it for you, and you will be able to find them. So this is more of a, not quite a double page spread, but it goes across 2 pages. So you can see I tried to do a little rainbow for that one, which was fun. Now this book is different to the original book because there is a white line down the spine, which means you don't have to try and push your pencils right into the middle. With the UK editions, where it's sewn, you can see the sewing there, it's not so much of a problem because you can break the spine, the glue, and get in there without worrying about the book falling apart. With the American versions, and I can't speak of any other country's bindings, if you do that the pages go everywhere, fall out, and so you don't want to do that. So that's why Johanna's done that, so that it's a little bit easier. It does break up the pictures a little bit, but if you sort of hold it together, it sort of makes sense. So this one, I remember doing this with Core's pencils. So they have a pastel set, which I used for the background, and then a brighter set, more regular set, which I used for the rest. That was good fun. They do keep their point quite well. They are a bit soft, which is nice for blending, but I did have to sharpen them quite a lot, but that was okay. Now this page here, this little butterfly here, this is a tutorial. It's the tittiest, tiniest, cutest little butterfly, and this page I did a lot later. I tried to copy the butterfly, but I've actually, as far as I can tell, used different pencils. But I think these are Ergosoft actually, and so is this, to be honest, looking at the colours. So maybe I just pressed a bit harder because it's a bit more vibrant than this one. But you may not be able to see that small sort of detail. Now again, this one is a video, so all the ones that are smaller designs on a page on their own that aren't in the original book, I put together as videos. It was really fun just to do these small images. This one I did quite recently. Not sure what pencils they are at all, no idea, but I kept it really simple. That's something I find helps. If the page is a bit daunting, it's a bit busy, particularly with small details, doing it quite similar, you know, doing the different bits similarly really helps, I find anyway. And so the same with this page. We'll go to the owl first. So all the leaves are the same, the background's slightly different, and the owl is quite similar colours. I did the owl grey rather than brown to help it to stand out from the green, really. But you can see all the leaves are the same colour. And the same on this one. You can see every leaf is the same colour. It's a fun autumnal spread. I did this in the spring, I think, or the summer. I was dreaming of autumn, my favourite season. So, and that's a black Posca pen in the background there. It's quite fiddly. There's a lot of leaves where bits of them have been chopped off by the pen. You know, I've coloured over them by mistake, but don't look too closely, you won't notice. Now, here's another one. This one I did as a tutorial. There's a titchy bee in the corner there. It was lovely. This one is done with different pencils, I can tell. So I didn't try and make these leaves the same as these because it's a different brand of pencil. So I just had fun. There's lots of greens there. Lots of different greens I was playing around with. I think those look castle art to me, but I may be wrong. And again, here I try to copy, make them similar. They're not identical because I couldn't match, because I couldn't remember what I'd done. But I kept it similar with yellow, greeny yellows, olives. I do love those sort of colours. So that was fun. And a sort of rainbow spread, like the front one really. But I did my butterflies and cocoons in a purple and the flowers in a blue, just to make it a bit different. You know, we've got quite a fine design. You can't shade very well in the leaves unless you've got hundreds of hours and you're really patient. I have tried to make them a little darker at the base than the tip, but you can barely see it. So I messed around with my colours instead, made it interesting in that way. So this page is always daunting to me, even in the big book. You're supposed to draw your own designs in the flowers and things. Not very confident with drawing, so it wasn't something that I thought I would find fun, so I didn't do it. If you think it's fun for you, do it. If you don't think it's fun, you don't have to do it. You know, keep it fun. It's what it's all about. Now, I used a pencil here. I want to say Castle Arts, but I think it's Black Widow, which bleeds through when you use white. So I used my bleed proof white ink, and the thing I used to apply it, I used a dip pen, and it was quite thick. You can see here in some places it's far too thick, in some places it's really fine, so that's why it looks a bit messy. I would recommend trying to do it even, but I did try. I'm still working on my bleed proof ink to try and find the best way to apply it. Yes, paintbrush. I realise a lot of people would use a paintbrush. I'm rubbish at using a paintbrush, so I'm trying to find a better method, so we'll see. This one's actually done in pen. I used Arteza ink tonic fine liners that I pinched off my husband. They're an interesting pen. Some of the colours, the ink flows beautifully. Some of them it seems a bit watery and it pools on the page, so you have to really leave it to dry a long time, and some are a bit dry and scratchy. So there isn't consistency between the pens, which I find a little bit disconcerting when I'm using them. I've managed to smudge it as well, but you know, that's just me. It's nothing to do with the pen. I smudge a lot. Now this one was fun. I'm trying to identify what pencils I used. I know I did a very pale pink background, which you can barely see. I did pink leaves, just so it's different. They look quite like candy leaves, I think. This door was done following a tutorial from a Helen Elliston book. She didn't use purple for her door, she used blue. There's I followed the blue door tutorial on a different page, so I'll show you that in a bit, which was lovely fun. Her tutorials are amazing. I have got flip-throughs of all of her books. She's got 4 books on colouring techniques, and it's amazing. I learnt so much from her. And for people who don't learn from videos very well, it's all written down, so that can really be helpful. I also thought I couldn't learn from videos very well, so I thought it was good, and it means you can go at your own pace without having to keep pressing pause or rewind. You can just leave the book open and follow it through. Now this page again requires drawing. You can see my drawing skills. I decided if I just swashed some blue pastel in the background, you wouldn't notice I hadn't drawn anything. You haven't noticed, it's fine, isn't it? So I kept it really simple. I think I used Prismacolors for this page. I had messed around with lots of different colours in the pots, and it was really good fun because they're not too tiny, so I could use them. And for the green bit of the leaves, I didn't worry about the individual leaves. I just coloured over the whole thing, just because it's too small. You know, life's too short to colour every tiny leaf. Maybe you can if you like. I wasn't in the mood, so I just coloured over them. So that was fun. I had fun with that page. Now this page, I'm pretty sure there is a tutorial for that one. It's really simple, but and you can see the key and lock. You probably can't see. Are coloured in a very shiny gold pen. I've got no idea which pen, but if you find the video, I'll show you. It'll be in my description of my videos. I'm going to try and tip it. There you go. You can see that one. In my descriptions I always put a list of all the materials that I've used, so you can go and look at them. They are often affiliate links, so if you buy them I get some commission, but they're no more expensive than if you bought them without that. It just means that it might not be the cheapest place to buy them. I just happen to be an affiliate for Waterstones, Book Depository and Colouring Heaven and Amazon, so and Etsy actually, I think. Can't remember. So I link to those, and I know most people use Amazon anyway. Okay, so this page I wanted to do differently. Rather than doing a random colour selection, I stuck to a colour palette, but I didn't want to... I've missed a leaf. I've missed a leaf. I bet it's not the only leaf I've missed in this book. I wanted to stretch my brain and do purple leaves, so I did. Now this page I did with some pencils that I didn't think really suited this paper very well. I couldn't get a nice even tone. I don't know, to be honest, I was in the mood for just putting pencil on paper and not worrying too much about it, so I don't think I made much effort to try and shade. I just wanted to get some colouring done because I was a bit stressed. I wanted to chill, colour, and it worked. But the picture aren't that nice, but you know, that's just the way it is. So this one again, I've made lots of effort in drawing my own plants. No, I just wasn't up for it, you know. So what I tried to do was to keep a limited colour palette, because I think that can add coherence to your page, and if I try and do a million colours, it looks really messy. So that's why I did it as well. So I kept to blues and greens. It saves you having to keep picking colours. It makes it much quicker. And I really like terracotta pots. You'll notice the theme going through. So that was part of the reason as well. Now this was a buddy colour. I said to someone I was colouring this page, and she said, I want to buddy with you. I was like, okay. So I used Prismacolor Very Thins for this, and I wanted to make it a bit different, which is why there's a blue trunk on the tree. The green isn't quite the colour I wanted, but in the Very Thins you're a bit limited, so that was all I could get really. But that was okay, and the birds were probably... You can't really see them, but you know, and I did a little bit you may not see. There's some pink pastel clouds with a template in the background, but it's quite faint. I wanted it to be faint, but it just means it doesn't necessarily show up very well on the video. Now these are, you may or may not see, yes you can see a little bit, these are metallic pencils. These are the Castle Arts metallics, and I just thought I would play with them on this page. There's a lot of space with your bugs to do a lot of shading really. With the Castle Art, although they sharpen quite well, they don't keep their point for long, so I didn't have the patience to keep sharpening, so I just, you know, did my best. Had fun. This one is the cutest video ever. But over here I decided not to try and match, because I did this so long ago I couldn't remember what I used. I could have looked at the video. But this is actually metallic gel pens. These, I think, they're not hugely shiny. You can see they're a bit shiny. I think these are Castle Arts, but I can be 100% sure. And you notice there's been some transfer. I forgot to put a piece of paper behind here. These would dry. I always leave the book open for overnight, so they were definitely dry, and yet when I coloured on the back they still transferred, which is very interesting. Not something I expected. So this is another video here. Again, I didn't try and match the colours. I kept to a more limited palette here. And what I decided to do was to do a little bit of pink behind the flowers and some green behind the leaves, just to give it a little bit of very delicate background. I don't know how easy it is to see, but I'm not sure that the brown and orange goes with the pink and green, but it just acts so that there's two sections to the picture really. Now this one, I wanted a limited colour palette, so I was like, one petal flower middles, one colour for the petals, one colour for the butterflies, and off I go. And I wanted it to be warm, which it is, but looking at it I feel it's a bit too plain. I probably should have done a few more colours, but you know, that's what I chose to do. And once you start and you've done this many flowers in orange, you can't really change it. So now this was an interesting little experiment. I was using metallic pencils. These are Prismacolor very thin gold and silver, and then the butterfly is done in a polychromos gold because I needed a different colour. I was thinking about using the copper, but it was a bit too similar to this gold, so I used the gold, which is really light. You can see the difference between the two gold pencils is huge. But I just want, it's such a busy, daunting page that I wanted to just colour over the shapes. So that's how I decided to do it. Now here we have our leaf maze. This is Prismacolor Very Thins again. I used the olive green and the apple green maybe for those, but I did this yellow flower and it struck me as rather warm and pretty. So I went over here and did lots of yellow. I don't use yellow very much. So it was a real experiment. I'm not sure if I like it, if I love it, if I dislike it, if I hate, I just don't know. But it was just different. It's really different. So it was just fun trying something new, you know. Now here I just wanted blues. Now I picked two blues from my coarse pencils which I thought were quite different. I was wrong. So there should be a lighter blue for the flowers and a darker blue for the leaves, but they're so very close, very similar. When I look at it with my eyes I can see the difference. When I look at it through the camera screen they look really similar, but you know, there's even a different blue for the butterflies which again looks really close, but I just wanted some blues. I thought it'd be fun, and again I didn't shade anything, I just coloured it through because it was too small for me on that day. Now this again is a little video and I did these. Now I did a little bit of colour mixing on the wings, I thought was fun, on the birds. I really wanted them to stand out. On the leaves I did a little bit as well. It's really messy, but anyway. So there's a little bit, but I wanted the birds to stand out and they certainly do. I know I used Castle Arts for this, but I can't remember which set. This is the Crimson, I think. I can't remember. And that's Purple Lake Deep. But anyway, that was that one. Now here, I did this as a video, and I couldn't really remember exactly what I'd done. So this is the same colours, so the little ones are pink and big ones are yellow, and got the blue ones and things, but I didn't quite go into the same amount of detail as I did on there. I kept it more simple, and from looking it looks like I used a different type of pencil. Got some little bits on there. I thought they were dust, but they're not, but never mind. Now this page again, it was very daunting, there's so much going on, so it's like, right, I'm just going to use 3 colours, flowers, leaves, butterflies, off we go. And again, because this page is one where you're supposed to fill in details, I find it a bit scary. So I thought I'm just going to keep it simple and then I won't be frightened. So that's what I did. Now these 2 pages are favourites of mine from Secret Garden. You can see this one, I obviously chose to do it blue, but I kept all the butterflies the same, just so that we've got that coherence. I've seen people do all flowers different colour and things like that, and that's perfectly fine, but I had fun with this one. And this one I wanted warmer colours. I do love colouring my berries. I spent a long time on the berries and the leaves, a bit less time on the flowers to be honest, and I haven't done the seeds on the flowers in a different colour, which I'm surprised at. But again, the butterflies are all the same colour, so that there's some coherence there, so that was fun. But I wanted nice warm colours and cold colours, so that was interesting. Now here, these to me look like sunflowers, so that is how I chose to colour them. But what I did was I actually didn't do anything with the outline or the background, I just coloured in the leaves and the flowers. It was all I wanted to do on that particular day. And on this one, again, leaves and flowers, but a different colour, yeah, just plain colouring. Now this one is a bit more detailed in the sense that we've got some clouds behind it. The sunflower makes such a difference. Just got a cloud stencil, bit of pastel, whip it on ever so quick. It makes such a big difference to the picture. And my bee's wings have got glitter on as well. I don't think you're seeing that. I'm not, so I don't know. But there's quite a bit of glitter over here. It comes off the page. Now there is a tutorial for this page, both for how to do the candle and the butterflies, and then how to do the background as well. So it's a pastel background. I'm looking at those colours thinking they're probably Ergosoft, which is, as I say, what I mainly used in the book, but there is a tutorial for that because it's a rather fun page. Well, this one I did just the other day. It was fun. Again, I wanted close colours. I think this is Chromaflow pencils. Yes, it is Derwent Chromaflow. So I rather regretted this colour. It's called Raisin. It was a bit too in my face, but I should have tried to erase it down a bit maybe. But anyway, I wanted to keep it warm and sort of oranges, so I did all the flowers the same colour. And all the pots the same colour, and there's a bit of pastel green and some more yellow around there in the background just to bring it all together, make it look prettier, I think. So that's what I did there. Now this one, look, it's all the same colour green with just a few tiny bits of pale orange. I've got no idea what pencils I used for that, but I did it a long time ago. This one I did slightly more recently, but I think I might have used Arteza for this. Arteza Premium maybe? But I just, again, all blues, just something different. You know, I've had this book a long time, and I was getting to the point where I thought, you know, if I want to experiment, this could be quite a good book to experiment in, partly because it's smaller, so you can experiment on a whole page. It doesn't take that long, and partly because, you know, I was getting to the end of it and I was sort of running out of ideas for some pages, so I thought, well, I want to experiment with blue on a page. I don't know what to do on that page, so let's just go ahead and have a go. So that was my blue experiment. I think this was a buddy colour, this tree, I think. But again, we've got all the owls the same, all the leaves the same, all the flowers the same, just to keep it nice and simple and easy. It's already a fairly simple picture, but it is very small, so it just helped me. Now this one we didn't keep simple. We've got all the, you might be able to see there, these are blue glitter. I did them all different colours around the wreath, so that was fun. Now this guy's a video. I did one for the sky, sorry. I remember I lost a video. I accidentally deleted it or something, so a bit of it's missing, which was a shame. I think it was just the green bit, so it wasn't too tricky. I think I explained it in the next video because I realised it had gone missing. And that's all done in Ergosoft. I had loads of fun with that because most of it isn't too small, so it was quite good for video. I think this one is a video too. So the branches and the sky background. So that's that one. This one we go to a very simple, again, straightforward page. I haven't coloured in the ladybird, which is just pink and green. Sometimes I turn to pink because I don't use pink very often, so it's my longest pencil in the box, so I think I ought to be using some pink. Now this one I always find a little tricky because there are some filled in areas that Johanna's had printed into black, and some filled in areas which are empty, so I thought I would fill them in black, but my black was obviously not as bold as the printed black. But that's how I dealt with that. I sometimes find it a little tricky knowing exactly what to do in those situations, so that's what I tried. I probably would have been better off using a pen, but I get a bit scared of using pens sometimes in case they bleed through. Now here was a page where I wanted to do lots of different colours, and you can see what a big mishmash it is. You might think it's really lovely, but my eyes don't know where to settle. They're going all over the place and they don't know what to do. So it's all a bit random, but you know, I had a lot of fun thinking of the different colour combinations. I'm not sure what pencils I used. I'm looking at the colours. I can't really identify what they were, but there we go. Now these guys were fun. I have got a video of this page, but not from this book, from the full-size Secret Garden book of how to do a pastel background. But I didn't do a background on this one. So all the snails and slugs are the same colour, but I just changed the leaves up in each row. It was really simple, and I think it looked very effective. Plain and simple can sometimes work. Now this is the page where I followed the Helen Elliston Fairy Doll tutorial completely, in the colours that are in her book. She uses Prismas, so I used Prismas. And what I did then was I used very thin, Prismas very thin for the details, for the leaves and the tiny flowers. And then I used larger, normal, Prisma Premier pencils for this bit of background. I think it just added to it a little bit. And this here is done with in the same colours as the key, so it sort of matches up a bit. So it was really good fun. And the toadstools are the same colour as the door, so you know, it was just, I really enjoyed that one. And again, this page is quite a favourite of mine in Johanna's books, but I tend to do it the same. So I've tried to do it a little bit different, and there's only one difference really, which is the gooseberries. I did them as this sort of, I tried to do them as purple gooseberries. There's a sort of reddish purplish variety, but I'd got a lot of purple going on over here, so I sort of picked a reddish colour. But that's that. And the background's actually done in pencil, I noticed. I don't know if these are coarse pencils. I'm not sure if those purples are achievable with coarse. I'm not sure. Anyway, you see my terracotta pots again. It's a lot of fun. This watering can video is quite a popular one actually. And what I did was I did it similarly, this one, in a very similar way, and then did this in, as you can see again, a very limited colour palette, just pinks and purples. Excuse me. So I haven't coloured in Dragonfly or the Ladybird. How many other pictures am I going to spot? So that was fun, just something quite delicate really. This one again is one of my more popular colouring videos, but when I did this page I didn't really want to go into that much detail for every pot and leaf, so I kept it a bit simpler. And you can see I kept my palette to just yellow and these sort of olive greens. I don't colour a lot of yellow flowers, so I just thought it would be fun. It's quite difficult, these really little ones, so I didn't try and do any sort of shading or detailing. I just kept it really simple. I haven't done the stones. I'm going to have to go back. Am I going to go back and recolour half the book? I don't think so. Here, these circles, I never know in this picture whether they're supposed to be bubbles or stones. Sometimes I colour these as stones and these as bubbles, but I did them all as bubbles and kept them all white in this picture. Excuse me. So that was how I did that one. And this one, again, I always find this poor fish's sad face a little bit sad, but it's a nice classic, one of Johanna's classics. If you don't have Secret Garden, this is a free download. This particular page, one of her very first free downloads that Johanna gave us, so you can colour this without having the book. It's on her blog somewhere. She's got on her website, she's got a list of all her free downloads. So that one. So this lily pad one, again, I wanted to keep it simple. I did all the leaves in the same shade of green as the Ergosoft colour. And then I did these lily pads in a lighter green, but it was a bit close, so I went over it again with a sort of yellowy colour. The fish is purple. The flowers are all pink. I hadn't used this shade of pink very much, so I just went for it. And our frog is just a different shade of green. And we got these, I did as stones. It's really simple. I just wanted to do something straightforward, so that's what I did. Now this page here, these flowers are my favourite flowers that Johanna has ever drawn. I absolutely love colouring them, and therefore this page is my favourite. And I've done it lots of times. I've done it in 2 copies of her book. I've done it on calendar pages, I've done it on postcards, I've done it so many times. So this time I was like, well, what am I going to do to make it a little bit different? I'll keep it really simple. I'll keep the colours really muted and more pastel-y. I didn't really with the purple, but you know, oops, just keep it looking a little bit different. So I really enjoyed it, just trying to think of a way to do it a little bit differently. That was nice. Now here we just have a multicoloured splash, really. I don't know, I just picked a colour and went for it, and you can see I've tried to do a bit of shading on the different shapes as well. It's quite difficult to see on the yellows and things like that, it doesn't really show up, but that's what I tried to do. I had fun with that page. Now this one again, you're supposed to draw in your flowers. I just didn't. Now to stop it looking like a big mishmash of colour, I decided that I would keep the greens, the leaves, the grass, all the same green, and then colour the flowers in lots of different colours. And I was using my Prismacolor Very Thins, and I just did each flower in a different, or each plant's flowers in a different colour, just to have a look at them all. Now this one here looks like I didn't colour it. There's a very pale peachy colour, and this is the very pale pinky colour. They probably don't show up very well, but I wanted to leave them there. That's how I coloured them, and it was just trying out all the different colours, which was fun. Now here again we have a page where we're supposed to be drawing on more tendrils. I did try that on one of my books, but I just wasn't up for it. I just didn't think I would find it fun, so I just coloured it in plain, with all the petals the same, all the flower centres the same, etc. And it was just good fun. Now we have a couple of classics again from the book. The Treehouse is one that a lot of people like. What I did with this is I decided to just leave the cages in black and not try and colour any of them in. I thought they looked more striking like that, and I just had fun colouring the rest. It looks to me like it's Ergosoft. The bunting I actually made into St George's Cross flags. I don't know why, I must have been feeling particularly patriotic. I'm not sure, but that's how I did that one. So yeah, that was a bit of fun. I missed a pot there, but hey. I can find things I miss on all of them. This one I did again with Prismacolor Very Thins. I wanted to pick some really pretty colours, which I think I did. I enjoyed doing that one. This one I did a long time ago. I'm not sure whether this is a video or not. It's very basic. I'm assuming it probably isn't. But I just wanted them to be different. It's often tempting to make them the same because that looks like it fits in there. But I just wanted to make them really different, so that's what I did. Now this one is a video. And then when I came to doing this one, it was a long time after I decided not to try and copy that, because this also is smaller. So it's much more difficult to get the sort of shading and detail. There's all sorts going on in there, Posca pen, bits of shading. So I just did it really plain. I wanted to try this colour out to see how it worked. So there we go. I think this is a video. I'm sure he is. He's so teeny. Anyway, but over here I did a completely different colour scheme on the heart. I wanted to do pinks and purples. It's just what I like to do for hearts. So, and the blue butterfly, the orange didn't go. I didn't try much it. Oh, excuse me. Now this kettle was a complete disaster. You might be able to see under here it looks quite black. That's why I had to erase the complete disaster and then try and rescue it. And I think it's okay. I looked at a picture online of a shiny kettle. I thought, a red shiny kettle. I thought, I can do that. Apparently I can't. So I had to adjust it slightly. So I'm happier with it now, but it's still not how I wanted it to look. But you know, there it is. This one though, much better, much more fun, much more successful. I don't think I did a video for this though, but it looks to me like I've just used some Ergosofts there and just some gentle colouring. So that was nice. There's a video for this one. But this page I decided to do differently. I really like what I did with this page. I sort of did a sort of liney effect on the petals and left some white, and I thought it looked really nice, and just the choice of colours and things was nice. And this of course is like the kettle page, is a unique page to this small book. It's not in the larger version of Johanna's books, so you get a few extra. If you haven't seen a flip through of the book not coloured in, I have got one as well, but you may not need to now you've seen it coloured in, but if you do, there is a video of just a flip through of it not done. And here we are at the end. I knew when I came to colouring this page that I had done lots of these in rainbow colours, and I decided I could continue that theme, but I didn't want to. I wanted to just play around with some blues. I did that this morning, so I just kept it quite blocky and just did some different blues to just make the blue colours stand out. So that was fun. Again, I didn't do this one because I don't know, it's a bit weird and shiny. So, and this page has gone quite black, and this transfers over a little bit. I did put paper behind when I coloured this page, but when you colour anything and lean on, even like through there, it can transfer a little bit. So it might be wise to open it when you're colouring, really. That would stop that if you're worried, or just not colour that last page. You don't have to, you know. So there we are at the end. I didn't colour the cover. It's not really my thing, colouring covers. I have tried it a few times, but yeah, I don't find it fun. I was a bit sad actually. You see my cover here where the N is, it got ripped. I bought this book, it was sent to me, it had a sticker on here, and I stupidly just whipped it off and pulled off half the cover. What I should have done is use some sticky stuff remover and carefully, slowly got it off, but I didn't, and I had to do it, and I had to not feel sad about it because it was done. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. So there is the finished book. I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for watching if you made it through to the end. Just a quick thing to say, please do subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. It does help to sort of the channel to grow a little bit, and you can hit the bell and change your notifications so that you can see how many times you get notified when I get a video coming out. You may opt for never, you may opt for all the time, or sometimes, you know, you can do that. And there we go. I will include some links to the playlist with all the tutorials from this book. I will include that in the description, so that you can go and have a look. If there's any you fancy, you can go and find them and have a go. But thank you for watching. I hope that was okay. I had great fun showing off my book. Happy colouring.